Welcome back to my channel. My name's Lisa Jane and thank you so much for being here. I am going to be, in today's video, talking about my Spring TBR. I have 10 books in front of me that I am going to go through with yourselves, and these are sort of books I'd like to prioritise over the spring months. So without further ado, we will just get on into the video. So the first book is a new book I've recently bought, and it is called Darling Daffodil's Farm by Brittany Nicole. I have never read anything from this author before, and I think this is the first book in a series. I can't think what the series is called off the top of my head, but I will try and put it along here so that you can go and check it out. And it just says, prepare to fall in love amongst the wildflowers this spring. So obviously it's very spring themed. It just says, when an aspiring pastry chef, Tally Darling, returns home to her family's daffodil farm, the last thing she expects is to find a hot, half-naked farmhand living in her childhood bedroom and running her late daddy's business. Jesse Walker might be gorgeous, but he's also infuriatingly grumpy. Walker has no time for Tally, and the feeling is mutual. That is, until Tally hears him moan over one of her signature caramel honey cupcakes and then discovers how good it tastes when they kiss. As dewy April days turn into warm May evenings, Walker and Tally soon realise that there is a thin line between love and hate, but will their budding connection grow into something that lasts beyond one season? I've got a feeling this might be on the spicy side. I don't know where I've got that from. But yeah, looking forward to it. Nice, quick, easy read in between those heavier fantasy books. Another book I'd like to get to is a romantasy. This is A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. And I don't know too much about this, but when I buy books, I tend to look at what seasons it's good to read them in, and this one came up as a good read for springtime. It is, like I say, a romantasy, and this follows Vasily Moran. I want to say, I hope that's right. I'm rubbish at pronouncing these fantasy names. She was once a dancer in King Ilian's court until he framed her for murder. 2 long years in shackles leaves her broken when suddenly she's called to face her king. He offers her a deal to spy on his enemies at the royal gathering and he'll grant her freedom. But obviously there's lots more going to happen in this, and it's got heart-pounding danger around every turn, quoted by Kerry Maniscalco, who did the Kingdom of the Wicked and the Throne of the Fallen. That could be wrong. I haven't got that series, but I have got Kingdom of the Wicked series. But she did a quote, and obviously Su Lin Tan has also put romantic, heart-rending and riveting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. And I got the Works edition with the sprayed edges. But yeah, it just looks like a nice one. I don't think it's too many pages. It's just over 400, which is lovely. Makes a change from these big chunky books that I've been reading lately. We then have one that I should have read a long time ago and I've put it off. I didn't enjoy the first book as much as I wanted to, and it is part of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and that is book number 2, which is The Ballad of Never After. These are classed as romantasies, I think, and yeah, I loved the Caraval series. It's opinions, isn't it? Everybody's different. And then I read The Once Upon a Broken Heart and I felt a little bit let down by it. But yeah, I believe the series does get better again. So this is definitely one I'd like to read in spring, because it just got that feeling about it that it'd be a good spring read. So that is book number 2. I won't read about this one because obviously it might follow on from the first one. Then we have Clean Girl Spring by Willowhurst. This is part of a series. I think they're going to be interconnected books. I don't think they're going to follow on. They've each got their own story. I read, I think it's called Cozy Girl Fall last autumn and really enjoyed it. It's a contemporary romance, and yeah, it's that again, they're just quick, easy reads, but very much spring coded. So I thought I'd pick this one up. It's got nice pink sprayed edges. I know it's not for everybody, there's solid blocks of colour, but I quite like them on the shelf. And this one follows a lady called April, and she needs a fresh start. She leaves behind a broken engagement and a dead-end job in New York and returns to her hometown of Magnolia Springs, which is where the first book is set as well. But yeah, looking forward to this one. I just love the covers on these, they're so nice. We then have another spring coded book, and that is book number 2 in the Cinnamon Falls mystery series, and that is Death at Daffodil Inn. The first book was called A Cinnamon Falls Mystery. I really enjoyed that. These are mystery romances, so we have a murder in them and a romance, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. That felt very autumnal. It had lots of talk. It set up the scene beautifully. We had lots of talk about pumpkins and, you know, the leaves on the trees and how it was all decorated for the autumn season, and it just give you all them feels. And I'm hoping that this one is going to give me very much the spring feeling, as we are celebrating the Daffodil Jubilee. And it just says spring is blooming in Cinnamon Falls and the annual Daffodil Jubilee is in full swing. And Morgan Taylor is reluctantly helping her parents host the event at the Daffodil Inn. I think maybe during the event a guest is found dead, and then we obviously need to find out what's happened and who it is. But yeah, love these books. Highly recommend if you want something just a little bit different to just a romance book, because we've got a bit of mystery in there as well. Then we move on to something completely different, and it is a classic, and it's a children's classic, and that is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I sort of remember reading this when I was younger. I don't know too much about it, but I just feel like spring is just such a nice time to read this book. There are pictures in here. I'll just show you some of them. They're gorgeous. Like, lovely illustrations in there. And yeah, I don't think it's a massive book. Yeah, it's under 300 pages. Just think it's going to be very whimsical because it's a secret garden. Yeah. There's not a lot more I want to say on that. Like I say, I don't know a whole lot about the story. I can't remember it overly so, which is why I picked it up and wanted to give it another go. But it feels very spring-like. We then have another spring book, so I have got a few on this list, and that is In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. I think this is book number 2 in the Love Light Farms series. Now, please let me know if you think I need to read Love Light Farms first, because I don't want to spoil anything for myself. However, I think these are just interconnected. It's just an interconnected series as well. But this one is based in the spring, which is why I wanted to read it. And this one is about Evelyn St. James. She isn't the kind of woman you forget. Beckett Porter certainly hasn't. One incredible weekend in Maine and he's officially a man distracted. So I don't know where this one's going to go, but I enjoyed... What other books have I enjoyed by B.K. Borison? I can't think. I definitely have. I'm sure of it. I didn't particularly like the latest one, which was Good Spirits. Good Spirits. I didn't like that one, and I did DNF it. But I'm sure I've read other B.K. Borison books. If I have, I will try and put them here or a picture of them here somewhere so that you can see which ones I've read. But, yeah, I'm sure I've read other books of hers, which is why I think I like this series. But, yeah, let me know if you think I should read Love Light Farms first. We then move on to one of my older books. I think I potentially bought this 2024. I can't remember. But it is Nora Goes Off Script. It's very, very small. This is about a lady called Nora Hamilton. Her husband walks out on her and their 2 children. And Nora puts a heartbreak to one side and turns the collapse of her marriage into the best script of her life. I think she's an author. Yeah, she's a screenwriter. And it must be picked up for a big screen. And yeah, she's all part of the process. It sounds really good. I don't know why I haven't picked it up. And this one is recommended to read in the spring. So I thought, what better time than right now to try and get this one on my TBR over the next couple of months. We then move on to Ready or Not. I'm not sure if this is spring related. It could be more autumn. It looks very spring-like, but I'm sure I read somewhere it could be autumn, so I'm going to see. I'm going to give it a go. And if I feel like it's too autumnal, I will save it, I think, and put it to one side. But this is about Eve Hatch. She's always been content to coast through her life with a steady, if uninspiring job and a cosy apartment in Brooklyn, close to her childhood friend Willa and far from the Midwestern traditional family who never really understood her. But when she finds herself pregnant after an uncharacteristic one-night stand, her comfy life is suddenly up in the air. Eve's loyal friendship with Willa is feeling tense right when she needs her the most, and it's actually Willa's steadfast big brother, Shep, who steps up with the most support, and he's suddenly kind of hot. So yeah, I think we know what's going to happen there. But this will be my first Cara Bastone book, and I know a lot of people love her writing. And then my final book on my spring TBR isn't very spring related. It's just one I really want to get round to, and that is Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh. This follows Gibbsy and Claire Bigg's story. I don't know too much about them. Obviously, we've met them in Binding 13 and Keeping 13 and Saving 6 and Redeeming 6. But yeah, it's his story and her story. So I'm sure there's going to be heartbreak in here. There always is of some kind. These are not easy books. I didn't know whether a woman of my age really would find these much good, simply because I thought they were aimed at maybe a younger audience. However, I think actually I've really enjoyed them's not the right word, but I have read these really quickly, and I don't think they're for the faint-hearted. I definitely don't think you should be reading them at the ages of like 13. I think we need to be really careful. I don't know if there's trigger warnings in these books, but there definitely needs to be. As a mum myself, I wouldn't want my children going into these at too young of an age. So yeah. But yeah, this follows Gibbsy and Claire, and is the 5th book in that series, and the 6 books out right now, and I've got just releasing 10 to read after this, although that is supposed to be really heartbreaking, so we shall see. But yeah, they are the 10 books I would like to read over the next few months, and like I say, they are my spring TBR. I think I did one of these videos last year where I tried to get through some books during the autumn time, and it's just a way of keeping myself accountable. I have a lot of books on my bookshelves, and you know, I want to read them all. I'm really excited about all of them, or should I say most of them. I'd say 98% of them I am. And yeah, I just want to make sure I'm bringing them to the forefront now and again, and not just reading the new books all the time. Make sure I'm putting some old ones in there as well. I am so sorry that there has been a lack of videos recently. I haven't been well. I'm still not 100%. I don't know what's going on. I've had a bad chest for about 3 weeks. But yeah, hopefully more videos coming soon. I'm wanting to do some reading vlogs I've got a new video idea, which I did put a post about, where I'm going to do some wrap-ups, but I'm not just going to do a general wrap-up. I'm going to do different bits within it, so you can see where I am on series and different things. It's going to be a bit of a wrap-up and a reset in one, ready for the next month, so you can, yeah, just see what's going on in general. But yeah, that's all I've got to say really, and yeah, thank you for watching. This was a bit more of a quick one, quick chatty one, and just to say I'm really sorry that I've been absent for a couple of weeks. Like I say, I've not been feeling the best, and I think I just need to give myself a little bit of a break. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.